What's good, everyone? Alex here.
Maya here.
Welcome to Something About Everything podcast. Today, we're diving deep into entrepreneurship in the digital age. You know, like what it takes to really make it.
Yeah, no cap. We've got like a ton of research and articles all about how Gen Z is changing the game.
It's like a cheat sheet for building your own, empire.
Yeah.
But like way less boring than business school.
Period. Forget the whole like corporate ladder thing. We're talking side hustles, building
Yeah.
your brand online, you know.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
So one thing that stood out, reading through all this stuff is how it's not just about a good idea, it's about mindset.
Right. Like you got to be resilient, adaptable, and always like learning.
Yeah, because the world moves fast, especially online.
Facts. Like trends change faster than a TikTok dance. You got to be able to pivot and adjust like
Yeah.
constantly.
So you got to be able to roll with the punches, basically.
Yeah.
But what about when those punches, like, really knock you down?
That's where resilience comes in. Every entrepreneur like faces setbacks. It's part of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not about like avoiding failure. It's about learning from it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. One of the studies we have actually like analyzed a bunch of successful entrepreneurs. And guess what? Most of them had some, major failures early on.
Wow, really?
Yeah. They used those failures, though, to like refine their ideas, their strategies, how they came back stronger,
So it's like you got to take the L and turn it into a W.
Exactly. And that whole learning thing, it never stops.
True.
Like whether it's keeping up with new tech, figuring out algorithms, or just, expanding your knowledge, the best entrepreneurs are always like leveling up.
Okay, so speaking of tech, we got to talk about the elephant in the room,
Oh, what's that?
All the AI stuff, automation, all
Wow.
that, like futuristic stuff. How are we even supposed to, like, understand it all?
I know, right? It can be a lot, but honestly, think of tech as like your secret weapon.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Like take AI, for example. One of the articles goes deep into how like Gen Z entrepreneurs are using it for everything,
Yeah.
analyzing trends, predicting what people are going to buy, even automating their marketing.
Whoa, hold up. So AI can, like, do our homework for us.
Uh-huh. Not
Gra-
quite. But it can definitely give you a major advantage.
I can imagine.
Imagine knowing exactly what kind of content your audience wants to see, or like which hashtags are going to blow up.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Right.
Okay, I'm starting to see how powerful this could be. But let's be real. All this tech stuff, it's got to be expensive. How do we afford it when we're just starting out?
That's a good point. A lot of these articles talk about like bootstrapping, starting with just your own hustle and your own smarts instead of relying on like big investors.
So being scrappy and resourceful in the beginning.
Yeah. Think of it as a test run. You don't need a fancy office or a huge team right away. Focus on proving your idea works and then, building from there.
Okay, so we don't need to be millionaires to get started. That's good to know. But what about when we are ready to, like, level up, to really grow the business?
That's where this whole hybrid funding thing comes in.
Oh, tell me more about that.
It's like you start by bootstrapping, then maybe get a little help from friends and family, and then finally, when you're really ready to expand, you look for bigger investors.
Oh, that's actually really smart. Like
Yeah.
a step-by-step approach, build it up organically, then bring in the big guns when you're ready to, like, take over the world.
Exactly. It lets you keep control in the early stages, but you're still open to like big opportunities later.
I like it. Okay, so this is all great, but let's move on to something everyone's talking about, personal branding.
Yes.
Why is it so important, especially for Gen Z?
Think of it like your digital fingerprint. In a world that's like all online is how people find you, connect with you. It determines if they want to do business with you.
So it's like our online reputation, the vibes we put out there.
It's more than that. It's about owning your story, your skills, what makes you you, and then building a whole community around that. It's like owning prime digital real estate.
Okay, yeah, that's deep.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we actually, like, build a personal brand?
Well, content.
Okay, yeah, everyone says that. But, like, what does that even mean?
Think of it as your R&D, your research and development. Every video, it's like an experiment.
Interesting.
It's a chance to like test ideas, see what your audience is into, and refine your whole message.
So every time I post a TikTok, I'm actually, like, doing market research.
Exactly. One article even talked about using Instagram story polls to get like direct feedback.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. You can ask people what they like, test out different product ideas, get their opinions.
It's like having a focus group in your pocket, basically.
Literally.
But okay, real talk. Creating content can be a grind, you know?
Hmm.
How do we make it stand out? Like, the internet is so noisy.
A lot of these articles talk about authentic storytelling, like people connect with stories, especially when they feel real.
So don't be afraid to get a little personal.
Yeah. Show your personality, your struggles, even your failures, It makes you human.
These are relatable.
Exactly. And that's where Gen Z has a huge advantage. You've grown up sharing your lives online, You're already pros at connecting with people in a real way.
Makes sense. We're not afraid to be ourselves online.
Right.
Okay, so we're creating awesome content, telling our story. What else? What are some other tips to, connect with the audience?
Focus on value. Instead of always trying to sell something, think about what your audience actually needs.
Oh, okay. I see what you
Like
mean.
maybe it's educational content tutorials or even just, funny videos that make people laugh.
It's about giving back to the community, not just taking their money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you actually provide value, people are more likely to trust you, engage with your stuff, and eventually become customers.
It's a win-win. Okay, so we're creating content, we're telling our story, we're providing value. But how do we actually get people to see it? Like, how do we cut through all the noise?
Marketing, my friend.
Uh-oh, here we go.
A lot of these sources emphasize, really understanding your audience. Who are you trying to reach? What do they like? What are their pain points?
Makes sense. No point shouting into the void if no one's listening, right?
Exactly. And that's where social media comes in. It's the best tool for connecting with your people,
Yeah.
But you need a strategy.
Okay, spill the tea. What's the secret?
Micro-influencers.
Wait, are those just influencers with, smaller followings?
Yeah, but that's a good thing. They might not have millions of followers, but their audience is, super engaged and loyal.
Oh, so it's quality over quantity.
100%. Micro-influencers have built trust with their audience that their recommendations actually mean something.
I can see that.
Plus, they're usually way more affordable to work with than, those mega famous people.
Okay, that's making sense. But let's switch gears for a sec. Let's talk money.
Ooh, everyone's favorite topic.
Right. Managing finances can be scary, especially when you're just starting out.
For sure. But these sources, they actually have some great advice, like budgeting.
Ugh, budgeting. Does it have to be, super detailed and restrictive?
Nah, not at all. It's more about knowing where your money's going so you can, make smart decisions and not spend too much,
Okay, so it's more about awareness, not deprivation.
Exactly. And remember that whole bootstrapping thing?
Yeah, starting small.
Applies to your money, too. Be resourceful, get creative, and don't be afraid to, start small.
So no need to splurge on a fancy office right away.
Nope. Unless it's, absolutely necessary for your business. Focus on the stuff that'll actually make you money,
Speaking of investments, one article mentioned something called burn rate. What's that all about?
It's basically how fast you're spending your money, especially if you've got investors. You got to track your burn rate and make sure you're not blowing through cash too quickly.
Oh, okay. So it's like a speedometer for your finances.
Yeah,
If you're going too fast, you might, run out of gas.
perfect analogy. It all comes back to having a solid plan and, knowing your numbers. It's not just about making money. It's about making sure your business can, last.
This is all super helpful, but let's be real. Entrepreneurship is not all sunshine and rainbows.
Mm.
It can be stressful, demanding. It's easy to get burnt out, How do we stay sane in all the chaos?
That's so important. And a lot of these articles talked about that. Mental health is key, One article even called entrepreneurship a mental marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Right. So pacing ourselves is key.
Okay, but how do we actually do that?
Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries.
Easier said than done, right?
It takes practice, but it's so worth it, Set specific work hours, have a separate workspace, and when you're off, you're off.
So no more checking emails at midnight.
Nope. Unless it's a real emergency. You need time to rest, recharge.
Makes sense.
What else? Oh, having a supportive community.
Oh, yes.
Whether it's other entrepreneurs, mentors, or even just friends and family who get it.
Yeah.
Having people you can talk to, lean on, it makes a huge difference.
It's like having your own hype squad, to
Yeah.
keep you motivated and remind you that you're not alone.
Exactly. And remember, self-care is not selfish. It's actually crucial for your business.
Okay, that's a good reminder. This has been like so eye-opening. We've covered so much.
I know, right? From mindset and strategy to marketing and mental health, we've been through it all.
We have. But wait, there's more. So we've talked about the hustle, the grind, like all the strategies. But what about the bigger picture? Creating a business that's not just successful, but like actually makes a difference.
Yeah, that's where purpose comes in. A lot of these articles, they talk about aligning your business with your values, your passions, the stuff that gets you fired up.
It's not just about the money. It's about making an impact.
Exactly. Like Gen Z, you're known for being purpose-driven. You care about sustainability, mental health, all that good stuff. And you're not afraid to use your voice.
Yeah, we're not just building businesses, we're building movements. But how do we actually like turn that passion into a real business?
One article talked about reframing content creation, thinking of it as research and development.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
Every piece of content you put out there is like an experiment.
So it's like we're scientists in a lab, but instead of test tubes, it's TikToks and Instagram stories.
Exactly. You're constantly gathering data, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then you use that to like improve your strategy.
Okay, I'm digging this whole content as R&D thing. But how do we know if we're on the right track? Like if it's actually resonating with people?
Data, my friend. One of the studies, it actually breaks down how successful entrepreneurs use like analytics. We're not just talking about likes and follows, but real insights.
So got to get comfortable with numbers. I'll be honest, that's not really my thing.
It's not as scary as it sounds. There are so many tools out there that make it easy. Plus, you can always team up with someone who's good with numbers.
True, true. Collaboration. It's another thing that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Seems like it's not just about the solo grind anymore.
Yeah, like community over competition. Right. One article even talked about mentorship.
Yeah,
Finding someone who's been there, done that, and can like guide you.
I love that. Lifting each other up. Because entrepreneurship can be like a roller coaster.
Oh.
It's good to have people to celebrate with and to like help you through the tough times.
For sure. And speaking of tough times, let's circle back to mental health. We've talked about the hustle, the pressure, but taking care of ourselves, that's got to be a priority.
Yeah, self-care is not a joke.
One of the articles, it talked about creating a like self-care toolkit. What are some things we should put in there?
Okay, yeah, good question.
Boundaries are huge. Make sure you're disconnecting from work, taking breaks, doing stuff you enjoy outside of the business. Self-care is not a luxury, it's essential.
Preach. And it's okay to ask for help too, right? Like sometimes we need a therapist, a mentor, even just a friend to talk to.
Totally. Being vulnerable, that's strength, not weakness.
Oh.
And remember, you are not alone in this. Every entrepreneur, they go through challenges. It's part of the process.
This has been so inspiring. I feel like we've learned so much about what it really takes to be an entrepreneur today. Any last words of wisdom?
Entrepreneurship is a journey. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about the ride. Embrace the ups and downs, the crazy stuff, stay curious, keep learning, and most importantly, trust your gut.
That's the perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into entrepreneurship. We hope you're feeling inspired to like go out there and create something amazing.
Peace out.